There seems to be a very powerful force that does not want these things to be known. And it, I do believe, has a great deal to do with money, as you noted, that the Muslim nations are, some of them are very wealthy and have close relations with the United States, economic relations, the Saudis and their oil and so on. And the Saudis in particular have spent millions and millions of dollars in American universities. And so you have a huge Alawid bin Prince Al Walid bin Talal Center for Muslim Christian Understanding in Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., very prominent university. In Harvard, you have another Al Walid Center. Al Walid is a billionaire, a Saudi billionaire, and he's a hardline Muslim. And so when he gives these millions to the American universities, he wants them to toe his line, and they're happy to do so because all they want is the money. And so American universities, instead of teaching the truth about these things, they will teach that Islam is a religion of peace and that the problem is all Islamophobes, which means you and me, who speak terrible things about Muhammad and Islam and make people dislike it. And this is not just the American universities either. A few years back, it was revealed that favorable coverage of various issues had been bought. That is, the American media, CNN and the others, were paid money to give favorable coverage to various issues. When I saw that, I immediately thought, well, I'll bet that's the same thing that's happening when it comes to jihad. Because there is nothing but favorable coverage of Islam, and whenever there's a jihad attack in the West, the stories are all about the fear of backlash against innocent Muslims, and not about the people, the victims, or jihad at all. And so I do believe a great deal of this is that these people are bought. That for the sake of money, they are not telling the truth about these issues. As a matter of fact, there's been, and it is, the Islamic groups have thought of everything. We have to give them credit for planning. There is not an issue, not an area of society where they have not entered and turned the narrative in the way that they want it. So why do we not speak? Why are people not told about these things in the schools? If you read textbooks in the United States, and I'm sure this is true elsewhere also, Islam is peaceful. Islam is tolerant. Islam spread all over the world because it's so wonderful. Whereas all the other religions are given very negative treatments. And this is in American public school textbooks. Why? Because Islamic groups have targeted the textbook manufacturers and told them, we want to help you avoid Islamophobia in your textbooks. And they've turned them around to make them into essentially instruments of proselytization. It's all about the money. Certainly the response of virtually all the governments around the world to Islam is based on falsehoods, and that consequently it cannot stand. I don't know when or how it will fall, but I do know that the fact that it's refuted on a more or less daily basis is a sign of hope, that eventually I think it will become impossible for governments in India, in Europe, in North America, everywhere around the world to ignore and deny this problem. Unfortunately, probably the jihad will have advanced a great deal more before it becomes impossible to ignore.